Reeve, principal of Vanderveer Elementary School.
And I'm Dr. Tian, superintendent of schools.
We are so excited to welcome everyone to our Vanderveer Evening Learning Academy.
You are all in for weeks and weeks of enjoyment.
You will be learning alongside your very own Vanderveer teachers.
Also, we have teachers and administrators from across the district that will be bringing you fun learning experiences.
You will become scientists, engineers, mathematicians, writers, world explorers, and learn to communicate in different languages as you explore concepts in math, reading, writing, science, social studies, world language, and so many more.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight, and we encourage you to visit often and view other lessons in our learning library as we add to the videos each week. Enjoy!
Hi everyone, I'm so excited to be here with you today. My name is Nicole Pepe and I am the instructional coach at Vanderveer Elementary School. I have a great lesson to do with you all today. So here's what I need from you. I need you to get a pencil, a piece of blank paper, and your best listening ears ready. We're going to start in just a minute. So I hope you're all ready with your best listening ears for right now. You can put your pen and pencil down until a little bit later on. Today, I have a read aloud for you. The title of the book is I Stink, and the authors are Kate and Jim McMullen. And today, when we read this book together, we are going to practice something I call read like a writer. Read like a writer. When I think about what it means to read like a writer, I think a lot about writing workshop and reading as well. Our authors, Kate and Jim McMullen, have written and illustrated this book called I Stink. When we read a book, we want to think not just about what's happening in the story and who the characters are and what the setting and the plot are. Those are great things. But when we read like a writer, we think about the decisions that the authors have made when they wrote this book. Well, why is that important? For a couple of reasons. First of all, as readers, if we think about the decisions the authors have made, why they chose to do the things they did in their book or draw the things they drew, we notice that they want us to read and understand it in a certain way. That's one reason we read like a writer. Another reason we read like a writer is to get ideas for what we can do as authors in our own writing. So today, as we read the book, I Stink, by Kate and Jim McMullen, there's a couple of things that we want to be thinking about. First of all, how did the authors use font, punctuation, and capitalization to help its reader understand the story better? Let me name those three again. Font, the writing and the letters in the text in the book. Punctuation, such things as exclamation points, periods, and question marks. And capitalization. Hope you recognize that word capital in there. When we write, we capitalize certain words. Sometimes authors will capitalize many words. Look right here in that title, I Stink. All capital letters and an exclamation point for punctuation. And that font, boy, that looks like stinky font to me. Look at those letters with the bubbly outsides. So we want to think about how did the authors use font, punctuation, and capitalization to help us, its readers, understand the story better. We also want to think about something important in this story. There is a narrator in this story, and a narrator, narrator. I know I've heard that word somewhere before. I think I heard it in reading when we were talking about who tells the story, the narrator. The narrator is the person who tells the story. We want to think not only about who is telling the story, what character Or is it somebody from the outside telling the story, and why we think the author chose this narrator? So we're going to read through this book together. Along the way, I'm going to stop at certain parts and pages. I'm going to point some things out to you. And I'm also asking you to think. I'm going to ask you to think about some things as I'm doing this read aloud. Don't forget, the goal is to read like a writer and think about what the authors here have done. So now, here we are. I have a copy of the book in front of me. And since you don't, I've been able to share my screen with you and show you exactly what I'm looking at as I read. Along the book, we're going to stop, we're going to think, and we're going to share some ideas together. Let's get to the title page here. I Stink by Kate and Jim McMullen. I'm already starting to see and notice some things as a reader. Right away, I'm taking a look at the setting. I see tall buildings. Where do I see tall buildings? Where do you all see tall buildings? If you said probably in a city somewhere, I think you're right. Skyscrapers, office buildings, tall buildings that go up into the sky called skyscrapers. Because it's so crowded in the cities, these buildings don't have room to spread out. Hopefully you're already thinking about the setting and maybe even the characters in this story. Let's go ahead here to one of my favorite parts of a book, and it's the dedication. I can learn a lot about what it means to be a writer by looking at the dedication. A dedication is a place in a book where an author or authors send out their wishes to someone who inspired them to write this book, or someone who they learned information from to be able to put the book together. In this case, the dedication says, for Earl Harrington and Billy King, two of New York City's strongest. Wow, I already noticed from the title pages that this book is probably taking place in a big city. And here I see two of New York City's strongest. Strongest what? Well, I think I'm going to have to keep reading to fully see what the dedication may mean. But I already know that the authors dedicated this book, I Stink, to two people who are New York City's strongest. Who am I? I've got lights, 10 wide tires. No AC, not me. I've got doubles, steering wheels, gas pedals, brakes. I am totally dual up. Know what I do at night when you're asleep? Wow, it almost sounds like when I'm reading this book, somebody's talking to me. I notice that the authors are using words like I. Who am I? I've got lights. I am totally dual up. I use the author's words and also the picture of the garbage truck shining its big, bright lights onto the text. And I'm starting to realize something. If you have an idea of who the narrator is in this story, give me a thumbs up. Awesome. I see a lot of thumbs. And hopefully by now you realize that the person telling this story, I Stink, is the garbage truck. Wow, that is a very creative thing that our authors did. They have a garbage truck that in real life doesn't think or talk, telling the story from their point of view, their perspective. So we, as readers, are going to better understand what that garbage truck goes through every single day. Eat your trash. That's what. See those bags? I smell breakfast. Crew, get me to the curb. Lights, blink. Brakes, squeal. Tailgate, say ah. Some of you might already be noticing the different fonts on this page, the way the words look, how they're written, the punctuation, exclamation points, question marks, periods, and also capitalization. Right now, point to a word that's all capitalized. Very good. Those words are trash, breakfast, blink, and ah. Those words are bigger. And if you noticed as a reader, when I read them, I made my voice a little bit bigger. Feed me. Nice toss, guys. Straight into my hopper. Stop. I notice that in the picture, there are garbage bags being thrown into some sort of hole. And I remember that the dump truck is telling this story. So the truck is saying, feed me. I think the garbage truck is eating those garbage bags. But then he yells, stop. Hopper's full. Hit the throttle. Give me some gas. Rev me to the max. Engine, roar. Wow. I can see the face of that garbage truck in the illustration. His eyes have some red. He almost looks angry. Is he angry? Roar. When you think about roar, you might be like me thinking about an animal, specifically a lion or a tiger. Are they always angry? Not really. They just say roar because they're powerful and big and loud, just like our garbage truck. I'm questioning in my mind what a hopper is. When I think about a hopper, I think about a bunny or something hopping, but that wouldn't make much sense for our story. So if the hopper's full, the garbage truck pulls away yelling roar. What I've inferred is that the hopper is the back of the truck where all the garbage bags go. So I think as a reader, we're now going to learn what a garbage truck does when its back is full of garbage. Did I wake you? Too bad. Pistons? Bring on the crusher blade. Blade? Push back the bags. Squeeze them, crush them, mash them, smash them. Whoa, those bags are way compacted. Lots of question marks there. When we read, our voice goes up. Pistons? Blade? It's very important as readers, we think about the end mark punctuation and how to move our voices for those words to make sense. The author did something really cool on this page. I want everyone to notice this word, compacted. I'm going to circle it. Look at that word, compacted. That's a word I'm not too familiar with. I don't use that word very much when I read and write, but there are certain clues I can use from our story to help me better understand that word. Those bags are way compacted. First of all, I use the change in font. Look what's happening in the middle of this word. The letters are going down. They're getting smaller. But then they go back up at the end. It's almost like they're being squished in the middle. Then I use the picture of the garbage truck. Look at all those colorful bags of garbage. I know from watching my garbage trucks in my neighborhood that when the back of the hopper gets full, this big metal squisher comes down and compresses, compacts all of the garbage. If you look at the word compacted, it certainly looks like something's being pushed down in the middle of that word. And since I put together what I know about garbage trucks and how they push down the garbage in the back, I was able to use the author's font to tell me what a word means that I don't already know. Burp. Can everybody at home do that? Everybody try that out. Burp. Big capitalized font. An exclamation point at the end of the word tells us exactly how we want to say that word. I'm almost laughing a little bit as a reader because the authors really wanted me to see that the garbage truck burps when it's full, just like I do sometimes. Because the garbage truck in this story is the narrator, we get to see exactly how the garbage truck is feeling. Now I have room for alphabet soup. Get a load of my recipes. Wow, something's changed here. The author has begun to use the alphabet structure to tell us what the garbage truck has swallowed. Let's read all of those together. Apple cores, banana peels, candy wrappers, dirty diapers, eggshells, fish head, gobs and gobs of gum, half-eaten hot dogs, icky ice cream cartons, jam jars, kitty litter, lobster claws, moldy meatballs, nasty neckties, orange peels, puppy poo, quail bones too. Rotten radishes, smelly sneakers, toothpaste tubes, ugly underpants, vacuum bags, watermelon rinds, extra large t-shirts, year-old yams, zipped up ziti with zucchini. Thank you very much. Look at all of those items that the garbage truck ate. All I kept thinking as I read those things was yuck. But I thought it was really neat how the authors used the alphabet structure to tell us all of the things that the truck ate. What's that? You think I stink? Woo-wee! Do I ever? No skunk ever stunk this bad. Go on, hold your nose, but think about it. Without me? Notice the decisions I'm making as a reader. You're on Mount Trashorama, baby. Using the illustration on this page, I notice buildings, tall buildings like the city. Only this time, there's garbage all over. If it wasn't for our garbage truck, we'd be on Mount Trashorama, which means we may be living in a place just covered in trash. Big cities can't have that. Small towns can't have that. We need those garbage trucks. Next stop, the river. Lights, flash. Driver, reverse. Get me to the barge. Hear my blast back, my backup rap. Beep, 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 hey, beep, beep, out of my way. Let's read that together. That was kind of fun. Make sure you use your voice changes when the font changes, when you see capital letters, and also exclamation points at the end. Ready? Beep, beep, hey, beep, beep, out of my way. We read the book exactly the way the author wanted us to. Ready, crew, action. Pins out. Power takeoff switch, hit it. Tailgate, separate. Up, up, up. Tailgate sweeper, eject. Plop. Oh my goodness, so much is happening. I'm looking at the garbage truck. I'm noticing his hopper is wide open, and it looks as though he has dumped all of the garbage onto something in the water. I'm empty. I'm beat. You're waking up now, but I need some Z's. Back to the garage crew. Holds me down now and gas me up. See you tomorrow night, guys. Where's the garbage truck going? Nighttime's over. He's dumped all the garbage in his hopper. I see the author used the font with a lot of Z's, which means that garbage truck is very, you guessed it, tired. Who am I? The garbage truck. That's who. That book was a lot of fun to read. And usually with books like this, what I like to do is I like to go back and reread each page. Take another careful look at the illustrations and also notice the font, the punctuation, and capitalization. When you read, and you read like a writer especially, it's always a good idea to go back and reread that book. If you wish to, you can stop here and go back and listen to this read aloud again, thinking about these important choices that the author has made, noticing who the narrator is, which we now know is the garbage truck, and thinking about all of the things that we may do as writers in our writing to help our audience understand the story a little better. When you're ready, we're going to continue on thinking about what it means to read like a writer. Now, everyone, we are going to take a deeper look at some of the decisions that the authors, Kate and Jim McMullen, made when writing this book, I Stink. They did some things that helped us to read the book in a certain way. And here's some examples. First, words can take a shape in the book. Look at that word wide with a big hippo next to it. See how the font is very spread out? The letters are spread apart, which caused me to read the word wide. There's that word compacted again. We looked at this in our garbage truck book. The middle is squished in, just like when garbage is squished together, compacted. Our third example down the bottom, you're on Mount Trashorama, baby. Look at the shape of those words. Just like the end of our book, if the garbage truck said he was not coming and the city was filled with garbage, we'd be on Mount Trashorama. Did you notice the shape of those words? What shape are those words making? You guessed it. Those words are mountain shaped. Mount Trashorama, almost like a mountain. I have a picture here. And in this picture, the author has used many different fonts and exclamation points. So first, I want you to take a look and observe. And try to read those words best you can. Then we'll read them together. Did I hear your voice get louder when you read? Did I hear you end the words in a certain way? Let's try to read it together. You can whisper read alongside me. Out of my way! Beep, beep, beep. Hey! Beep. I can tell by the words alone that somebody is angry. Let's look at that picture carefully. A whole lot of cars. Look at that driver in the front. All the way down there. Then you have the picture of a driver in the back. Look at his face. His eyes, his nose, and mouth remind me of someone who is angry. I think he's angry because I'm a driver, and sometimes when there's a lot of cars and I can't get where I want to go fast enough, and we're in a traffic jam, I start beeping my horn. How did the author do this? Well, lots of exclamation points. When we end our sentences with an exclamation point, we yell. We say those sentences loudly or those words loudly, exactly like I just read them and you did at home. We use large font. Look at those words, hey, beep. See how the letters are bigger than the ones right before them? It changes the way that we read, write, and understand the books that we choose. So this was fun to do together, but now you're going to practice using font, capitalization, and punctuation to tell a story about a picture yourself. How are we going to do this? Well, let me show you how I did this with my picture first. Well, before I started your read aloud today, I too got a blank piece of paper. And in order to be able to share it with you, I picked a photograph that tells a story. And this photograph was from this past Christmas. And these are my kids. As you can see in the picture, something pretty silly was happening. So, to practice what authors do and how we read what authors write as readers and writers, I decided to put some special words to this photograph. Look over here. It says, "Is this a joke? No, stop. Don't turn me upside down." Let me read that again. Is this a joke? No, stop. Don't turn me upside down. First of all, who in this picture do you think is doing the talking? If you guessed it was my son Anthony in the middle who's being held by his big brothers, you guessed correctly. And you know this because the words match what's happening in the picture. Look at the way I used font. Look at the way my words got bigger. I even used color with some of them. I used punctuation, such as exclamation points and question marks. And look what I did here down the bottom. I even put the words upside down, upside down. I did exactly what the authors of the book I Stink did. I used font, capitalization, and punctuation to help my readers better understand what was happening in my picture and in my story. Now it's your turn. Time to get that blank piece of paper out. I would like you to try this as well. On your blank piece of paper, on one side, I want you to draw or sketch a picture of something that happened. Could be something that happened at home, could be something that happened in school, could be something in a book that you've read. I would like you to draw that or sketch that out the best you could. If you're using a device, you could get a picture just the way I did, a photograph maybe of something that happened. Then, on the other side, I would like you to use the space to decide who is the narrator and what font, capitalization, and punctuation you will use to help the reader understand what's happening. So, if you need to pause the video, go ahead and do that now. Grab your pencil, maybe some colored pencils too if you have them. Get ready to write the way we saw our authors write. All right, pause the video here. Okay, you ready to give it a go? I'm going to put my example back up here and give you all just a few minutes to go ahead and try this. While you're drawing and writing, please stop the video until you're done. All right, you've done such a fantastic job, and I hope you take your picture and your text and share it with somebody at home. Bring it into your teacher in school because you've done the hard work of being a writer. First, we went through the story I Stink, and we learned how to be a reader through looking at the decisions the authors made as writers. And then you were able to do an example of your own. I'm really proud of all of you and the hard work that you've done today. And I hope that you'll continue when you listen to books or read books independently, or somebody at home or in school reads you a book, to think about what are those decisions that the writer is making. What capitalization, font, and punctuation helps you to understand the story better? And also, who the narrator is, who's telling this story, and why is it important that we know who this person is? Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed our Reading Like a Writer Read Aloud today.